Hello everyone, this is Austin Johns, recovery specialist and director of Return to Sport for Ortho Virginia. And I'm here to talk to you today about the third principle of Return to Sport, and it's a scientific principle called the center of mass. Now the center of mass is something that comes from physics, but it very much applies to the human body because the human body is under the confines of physics. What is the center of mass? Well, the center of mass is reducing the human body, all of its weight and all of its motion, down into one single point. And that one single point is right a little bit below the belly button, an inch, maybe a couple of centimeters in front of the spine typically. I like to cue it to people by telling them it's their belt buckle. Okay? So if they focus on their belt buckle, they're going to be able to manipulate their center of mass. So that is the center of mass. It's a point right at the center of your body. If I'm doing exercise, if I'm standing, I'm actually constantly adjusting my center of mass as I shift side to side. If I'm standing still, my center of mass stays still. If I'm doing exercise like a lunge, my center of mass is going to dictate which muscles fire the most, which is really helpful when we get to adjusting how the center of mass can actually influence our body's makeup. And when I'm moving, the center of mass should be carried that same direction that I'm moving. So if my center of mass is going one way and I want to go a different way, I need to be able to adjust. My musculature and my bony structures need to be able to adjust to move my center of mass. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going in the same direction and I might get hurt. Typically, what goes wrong with the center of mass is I do the same motions repetitively. So if I'm always doing the same thing, my center of mass actually adjusts. Let's say I'm right-handed. My body will take the fact that I'm right-handed and put a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more muscle and stuff like that on my right-hand side, and actually onto the left leg. That's my supporting leg if I'm right-handed. If you look at yourself and you look at the people around you, you'll notice that they'll frequently have one trap's a little bit bigger than the other, and one leg might be a little bit more defined than the other. That's the body adjusting to the position of the center of mass in the human system. The body doesn't want to fall over when gravity is pulling on it, so it makes adjustments internally without you recognizing to help you out. Now, if that gets too out of balance, then we start being offered up to injury. So our job at Return to Sport is to try to help correct that center of mass discrepancy a little bit. So if you have that left side dominance on your lower half, we're going to work on the right side a little bit. If you have that right side dominance on your upper half, we're going to work on that left side a little bit. And if you're in a twisting sport, this is a good example. If I'm in a sport like golf or a sport like baseball, and I'm always twisting the same way, my muscles are always turning around that center of mass the same direction. I need to unload that. Once I unload that, my center of mass becomes more centered where it belongs, and all of my athletic positions become more fluid, more stable, and more symmetrical. That's why center of mass is so important to us. I hope you got a lot out of today's presentation. Again, I'm Austin with Return to Sport, and I encourage everybody to get back in the game.